A while ago I posted about my bilingual reading method for language learning, and I am 84% into the book I'm using for that purpose, so I figured I would give you an update. If you're new to this concept, I'm sure I'm not the first one in history to do it. I'm sure it's been used by lots of people, but this is what I'm doing. I have a text with the original text in German, in my case, my target language, and a translated page. So it's the same page, but one is in German, one is in French, my native language. And I compare sentence by sentence German to French to try and learn something. I'm not trying to learn every single word, but I'm trying to gather that, oh, well, this word has to mean that because context and so on and so forth. And I'm almost done with the book. Figured I would give you a little bit of an update on how it's going because it's actually going really well. So, was starting as a beginner. Very little basics in German. I do one Duolingo lesson a day, which did help kickstart my German learning. At this point, I'm starting to feel like it's not helping me anymore. It's really good to start when things don't stick and all the words seem too different from what you know to just stick in your head. But at this point, I feel like Duolingo fulfilled its purpose for me in German. Sure, I can still learn, but it feels a little too slow. I haven't stopped yet, but I might. Very good start. So one Duolingo lesson per day. Have been for maybe like a year. I have a tiny journal where I put like a sentence or two, but this is recent, very recent. And I watch videos that I don't understand at all. Videos that are not for learners, they're really for people who speak German. They just happen to be in German and they go way over my head. They are way too hard for me still. I don't take classes. I don't have a textbook. Eventually I will need to do something else, but my current studying method is really to put way too much effort into reading this book. But it's working. That's the thing, it's working. So at first I was only able to recognize a few words that I knew or that were similar to French and English. I gotta say, for German, speaking both of those languages does help a lot. And a couple of words that I was able to work out what they had to mean because of their position in a sentence and in relation to like numbers and punctuations, other words that I could work out the meaning of. But that was about it, right? 3 to 5 words a page at best, and that was if I was spending a lot of time on that one page. But at the 40% mark, or around that, I was starting to see that I was understanding phrases, bits of sentences, and I was noticing the patterns. If something was expressed differently, I could see, probably not every time, but very often, pretty much every day, I would see, oh, well, this idea was expressed more like they do in English or more like in French, or the word order is different, or this is a very different way of expressing the idea, yada. And yeah, I was just starting to see the pattern. So that helped because I'm getting more familiar with German and the words kind of start sticking together a little bit more. And now 84% of the way in, I can understand most sentences. That is, most sentences have maybe 1 or 2 words that require me to look it up or compare to the French side, and the rest of the sentence I kind of understand. Of course, it's within this book. Another book would have different vocabulary, different styles, so probably I would be a little bit lost at the moment because I am still struggling. I'm still a beginner. But I understand a lot more than being able to guess 2 or 3 words in the page. And some sentences I can even understand entirely, which I'm very surprised. I did not think I would get to the point where I understand entire sentences just by doing this, but I did. It does help that the same vocabulary comes back over and over again because it's all talking about the same things from one page to another. So the same vocabulary comes back and so I have a good vocabulary for the topics of the book. If you're curious, it's here. I do not know what the original title would be or what the English translation of the title would be, but it's Lettre à un jeune poète. Sorry, look it up. Look it up. That's not the point of the video anyway. But yeah, it's been really effective, and it's a small book. You can see it's about 60 pages worth of German that I read, and that's it. So I'm really, really impressed on how much I learned from just this. No classes, no teacher. Just sitting down every day and staring at the 2 pages and trying to figure some of it out. Really impressed, really happy.